Hello and welcome. We are so excited to be here today with our dear friends, Lee and Monika. And as many of you know, we've been working with them around the world for many, many years, and it's always such a great delight. Welcome, guys.
It's so wonderful to be here, and we have always felt that deep connection between Kryon and Alcazar. And I feel that there's often this kind of alchemy that occurs when Kryon and Alcazar get together that expand both of our work even further than just when we're on our own.
Yeah, to me, it's always felt like a homecoming, and it truly is a meld of two very powerful energies into one oneness. It gets even bigger than Kryon, gets bigger than Stargate. We always look forward to it every time we come together.
Yeah.
And today we've got dozens of groups around the world, people gathering in their living rooms and other places just to share this experience, and it's going out in many different languages.
Yep. So the Stargate family is here, the Kryon family is here, and we're coming together to do this collaboration. And as we were tuning in to New Year 2025, the theme that emerged is that there is more light on the planet than ever before. Humanity is awakening. And what is next? So this expansion of consciousness is happening so fast that it became very clear that in this collaborative space, it's time for us to take a journey into the very essence of our soul, invoking embodied awakening. And so we're here in this taste of what we can do together today to explore these themes and these topics.
And then we're going to be taking them much, much deeper for a whole New Year's workshop. We'll mention that a little bit later.
Yeah. So we want to start today with covering these topics. And so I know Kryon has been talking about this for years now, that the light quotient on the planet is increasing. And Lee and Monika, you framed this question as like, what can we do now that we couldn't do even a year ago?
Yes. And so I almost want to give a metaphor first, where let's say a year ago, you walk into a shop and you see 5 items that are on the shelf, and that's all you had available to you. So a year later, you come back into the same shop, and now you have maybe 20 items that are available on that shelf that were never there before. Now, of course, in this metaphor, the items on the shelf represent tools and gifts from the other side of the veil that are available to you in the spiritual realm. And the reason that they are now available to us is because the veil is thinning. There is more light on the planet. And there's several reasons for the mechanisms of why that has happened. Very briefly, number one, collectively, humanity agreed that we wanted to go on the path to ascension. And then it started to trigger systems of spiritual intervention that have been always dormant in the planet, or, are you ready, waiting for us to travel into that area of space that we've never been to before, that unlocks the delivery of spiritual information, energy, light, and energy directly to our DNA. I mean, this is why it's so exciting that we are now in that time frame where we have the delivery of more multidimensional tools and gifts than ever before.
We could just call it there, but what happens next, and that is the question, is a paradigm shift. And here is where it gets complicated. Here is where we have to go slow. Here is where we're going to expand this when it's time to do that. This first of the year's session that we're going to have with you. And you have to understand that this is not a linear kind of thing. Now, Monika says that there is a store that had 5 products and now it has 20. That's true. That is the simplest thing we could say. As this veil thins, we have more things in this, what do you say, the tools that we've always had as metaphysicians and light workers, but it's not exactly that way. There's really 2 aspects of this that complicate it. Number one, all the rest of those tools on the shelf, they don't show themselves automatically. You have to allow them. You have to perhaps experiment with them. You have to say, oh, I wonder if there's more. It's almost like you reach out in some domain and press on it, and it doubles or triples. So it doesn't necessarily show itself automatically. Now, people would ask, well, why not? And the why not is that spirituality, the very oneness of the tools that we work with, they're not in 3D. And the things that we do as metaphysical people, we don't work in 3D. And so there has to be a way to, let's say, engage them, not even activate them. They're there to engage them through allowance, through understanding a little bit more of what they might be. So there is that to look at. Then we can start listing some of the actual tools on the shelf that are starting to appear or enhance that you didn't realize were starting to do these things, and some of them are quite surprising. Number 2, this is a big one, and it's controversial because it starts to change the way people learn. And it goes like this. Suddenly, we are asked to experience things ourselves instead of going to a class where they're listed on the blackboard. Now, Stargate has always been a forerunner, in my opinion, of this. There's less minutia to learn and more experiences to lead you into self-awareness. And so a workshop might be labeled something, but you're not going to get a list necessarily that you're going to have to then activate. And lists and activation are the way of teaching, and they have been. How many of you, as light workers, have taken courses, including perhaps the ones that Kryon would give or that we would give? And there is a list. There's a hierarchy of things to learn and to know, starting here, starting there. What if all of that is going to go away? And instead of a list, you're presented with an energy. And the energy then opens up that list intuitively for you. That's a whole different way of learning. But wouldn't it make sense that that's going to change as well? That just opens an enormous bag, you want to say, of differences. So we are so used to going here, taking this course, learning this. How do I this? How do I that? How do I that? What if it's a matter of exposing you instead to an energy that enters that for you intuitively with your name on it? That is just a portion of the kinds of things we are speaking of when we're looking at a thinning veil on this planet. Now, I could go on, but I'm going to do that a little later when we get together at New Year's.
Yes, I know. And for us people that have been in this kind of new age thing for a long time, I've done a lot of those lists and a lot of those workshops. And I think one of the challenges for people that have been working with themselves for a while is actually it's time to let that go. It's time to open up to this new way of experiencing that you're mentioning.
And to me, this is what I've noticed in our work, that there's this knowingness within us. And I think that's what we can plug into when we leave the lists behind. So I came up with this definition of ascension, and it's the part of us that's bound by space and time, merging with the part of us that is unbound and eternal. So it's that fusion or that merging. And that's really what I can see is easier, faster than it ever has been before. And as you're saying, you have to knock on that door. So this is the opportunity that we're exploring together. And in this live stream a little bit later, we'll actually co-create a meditation. We have another question for you, Lee and Monika. So Kryon has laid down some really fascinating new prophecies for humanity. And as we approach New Year 2025, I'm curious what you can say about what Kryon has said, and also other indigenous cultures and any other things you want to bring in.
Well, if we look at the indigenous cultures first, they have always been telling us about this pivotal time of shift, and that it's the beginning of a completely new paradigm, a new energy. If we look, for example, at the Mayans and their understanding of calendar systems and how they created a long count in the calendar system, which goes for around 5,125 years. And the end of one of the most famous long counts was ending at 2012, which is the period that we sit in now. And rather than it being the end of the world, as so many Hollywood movies would have us believe, their understanding of the calendar system is that it's a cycle that the universe will regenerate itself and start anew. Only this time, when we enter this next Mayan long count, 5,125 years, beginning now, the glyphs on the walls in the Mayan buildings had the prophecy that should we make it past 2012, we would move into the highest consciousness that the planet has ever seen. So that has been the indigenous prophecy. There is also the prophecy from the Hopi, who said that we are at a delineation where humanity can choose to go one of two paths. One path briefly takes us to a journey where we are all connected and we are in harmony with the planet. The other pathway takes us to a place where we are disconnected, not only from each other, but from our core self. And that ends in chaos and termination. So we have many different types of prophecies that all speak of this time, which was known by studying the stars. And we are at that cusp now. And it makes sense that if we are to regenerate the universe and start moving into a new paradigm, then there are going to be new prophecies and new ways of being that have never occurred before.
So what we look at is what would that include? And last year at this time, when we got together with Stargate, Kryon released, and we told you about a prophecy regarding our Akash, regarding the 24th pair of chromosomes that we have that is not visible on a microscope, but is there, that we've always told was there. We've talked about the release of perhaps mastery information into the field. In other words, all of those things, they align with what we're going to be talking about this year as well. But there's something else. And this is the one that gets me very excited because it is so 3D. I as an engineer, and I never have lost that any more than Prageet, as his background, has ever lost his interest, I think, in the kinds of things he had and what he did. And the overlay of us channeling and all that, it doesn't necessarily suppress who we were or what we liked, and especially when we were younger. So I have always loved the way of showing you, those students who are here and those who are watching, how something can happen in 3 dimensions right in front of us that you didn't expect. And that is part of the prophecy that's coming. In 1999, I was just very privileged to have worked on a book with Jan Tober, my partner at the time, and it became the best-selling book of Hay House for 1999. And it was called The Indigo Children. It was the revelation that new children were being born on the planet that were different. And they were not different in intelligence. They weren't different in the way they were shaped or anything. They were different in consciousness. And people were seeing this immediately. In fact, that's what made the book so popular. Parents were seeing it all over. And so they would snap at the book and they say, this explains what's going on with my kid. That was also the years when they started seeing ADD and ADHD as though they never were there before. Those were the years when they developed the drugs for them, of course. This is always the response to higher consciousness or something we don't understand. The drugs weren't for the kids, they were for the parents. So we covered that in the book. And so you have the emergence in 1999 of something that actually had been happening up to even maybe 5, 6, 10 years before. A different consciousness is arriving. And that consciousness was personified by rebellion at the time against the things that didn't make sense, the dysfunction of parenting, the dysfunction of school, the dysfunction of the way society was actually working. In a very old energy, these kids saw it and they rebelled against it. That's why we had the drugs we had. And that's why there was an increase in Montessori schools, Waldorf schools, to put the balance so that these children were starting to be seen. And Kryon said back then, these are going to be the ones in the future to make the difference, that they have to start now. You cannot have an instant change of consciousness. And we didn't. We've had since 1999 to have the emergence of the indigos. And that is the prophecy that Kryon is giving. I want to talk to you later, and we'll do it at New Year's. What does that mean? What are they going to do? What is that syllabus now of the indigo child as an adult? Not all of them will be doing the same kind of thing, but you're going to see this soon. It's going to be fun to talk about it in 3D. What does it mean? The emergence of the indigos, meaning the emergence of a new consciousness, which has been actually developed and simmering along the way for it to expand now. It's almost worth another book, which I'm not going to do, but this is very important, I think, to what we are seeing in our society.
Yeah, I mean that's really amazing what you're saying, but it's interesting that 10 years before that, that's when you started, that's when I started, and a whole number of other people, suddenly channelers evolved and different types of healers. And so there's this preparation from the old school for creating a space and an understanding for these new kids to land in, even though society in general wasn't ready for it. Well, they're never ready for it. We're never really ready for the changes. But it feels like now, more than ever, things are in such an acceleration. And you and Kryon are talking about a paradigm shift. Alcazar is talking about timelines shifting, which is a different way of saying the same thing, I think. But it's a really, really exciting time.
Yeah, I think the timelines shifting is sort of speaking to that Hopi prophecy where there are these two paths that are both valid potentials, and you can see that playing out in real time in society right now. It's like either we're going to become harmonized and connected as a whole, or we're going the other route into this like disconnection that I believe has a lot to do with overlays, how technology can become such a distraction for us from discovering the essential self. So this is the territory that we are exploring even today. And Monika, I know you mentioned that Kryon has given this beautiful metaphor from Lemuria.
Yes, exactly. The workshop we did together back in February, where we were talking all about Lemuria, I feel is just as relevant for this idea of now we've awakened. What's next? What are we doing? And how we can journey into the soul. I think all of this is culminating into what we're going to really further explore in the 4 days that we do the New Year Intensive, about the ability to journey into the soul that was never available to us before. When Lee and I began to teach the core spiritual truths as were given to the Lemurians by the Pleiadian star mothers, one of the beautiful things that came out in this knowledge and information about how these spiritual truths were taught was the way in which the star mothers were able to convey the concept that you are sacred. You are sacred was taught to children by the star mothers, creating a mind meld experience where she took the children into what she called the bigger you. Now, for the Lemurians, that was their way of understanding the bigger you is your soul. That's the bigger part of you. And when the Star Mother took the children directly into their soul, this is where we see every single timeline collapsing and converging into that now experience. And what she was able to show each individual child was the soul family. The ones who they had loved and lost were all there in the soul in real-time experience. And it was so impactful that when they came out of this meditation, mind meld meditation with the Star Mother's ascended consciousness that she was able to create, all of their family had gathered there to escort the children home because they had had that same experience and knew as adults that they would never have that experience again. It could only be done and given when they were children. And the reason that experience happened and how they had been allowed to journey into the soul is because at the core self, they were sacred, which means every human on the planet is also sacred because we are always 24/7 connected to the bigger you, the soul, the home where the creator is. And we've not been able to do that until now. This is where having a thinner veil, and again, we walk into the shop and there are 20 items available to us that were not there before, experiencing energies. We have that available to us where we can journey into the soul, where previously that could only be done through a mind meld experience of someone with ascended love consciousness basically ascension mastery status. And here is where we have graduated to that place where we are enabled through the new spiritual gifts and delivery of light, energy, and information onto the grids, which come directly to us, to be able to journey into that soul. What is in the soul? Everything.
It always bothered me for a long time as a guy that wants practical things, that we could not go further than we were able to regarding something so obvious. The soul is always here. We're taught this even in the major religions of the planet. The consciousness of the human doesn't go away when they die. It goes wherever the doctrine says it goes, but it's not destroyed. And so I always were wondering, well, what that soul consciousness is while we're here. Well, we're taught in so many systems that it's over there. It's beyond the veil. And so we can't get to it. We have some classic examples of what happened during ascension or death when we combine with that soul energy, and you have Elijah and all these stories. It bothered me. Why can't I touch the soul while I'm here? It's mine. Yes, it is. It's bigger than I am. Yes, it is. It has my name on it. Yes, it does. So why does it have to be behind a rock? And if I go to search it, it moves someplace else. Why is the soul so elusive? Why can't I meld with it? It's my spiritual higher self. Kryon said that is what is changing. In the past, you couldn't go there because the consciousness was not quite high enough for you to see it. It wasn't high enough for you to understand it. It was frightening. It's multidimensional. It changes time. It's a oneness that you don't expect. Therefore, it has been elusive until now. So this was the basis of the Circle of 12 that we started 4 years ago, to get people used to the premise that you could go into your soul. And if you did, what would you see? We're going to talk about that.
Yes, and the veils are thinning, and I think it's humanity as a whole, as a collective, have finally reached a place where we say we want more. Now, there's those people that have been meditating for a long time, and they've been helping to raise the vibration, but more and more so-called regular, non-meditative people are saying, I don't want to live like this. I want something new. And just the millions of people asking for this new, that in itself is a searching, a looking for something extra. And that begins this awakening process. And so humanity as a whole have reached a level where in our asking, the universe is responding in many different ways. And we're feeling all these guides coming in. The shift in consciousness is enabling more and more support to be here. And so between us and the universal assistance, now we're really on a rapid acceleration.
And I love this idea that the access point itself is expanding. In Kryon, it's in perfect alignment with the Stargate work. This idea that now we can actually experience things that before we could only know about.
And what I love about it the most is that once you start initiating that journey into the soul, and as Lee mentioned before, the more you can do that, the more you can have those moments where you connect in with your soul, the easier it becomes. And where I feel the magic resides is that when we're in touch with our soul energy, it is the same place where everyone is in their soul energy. And the more we meld with our higher self, it actually ripples out and affects everyone else who's doing the same thing. This is how Kryon has described when you have synchronicity, it's orchestrated by the communication with the higher self of you, with the higher self of someone else. There would be no reason for the four of us to be getting together in this way that we are today if we hadn't connected in with our own higher selves that puts us in the right place at the right time. For someone to say, Prageet, I would love you to come to Bulgaria. I would love to come to Bulgaria. What are you doing in Bulgaria? We're having a Kryon seminar. And this is how we get connected without even having any effort to do so, because it starts to become orchestrated, this beautiful synchronicity that is available to you via your own plan of your soul. So that's what makes it so exciting of what we are about to do collectively together a little later on as we get into the channel and meditation. The more we are able to go into the soul and connect with our higher self, the more opportunities we have of having benevolent things delivered to us because of all of the synchronicities and coordination that begins to occur from within that realm, that higher vibrating realm of ourselves.
I just realized something. That was going on exactly 12 years ago that Prageet was at the first Lemurian choir on Maui and received that invitation to go to Bulgaria, which is where we met you for the first time. And you've just done the final Lemurian choir on Maui.
We have.
A few days ago.
A few days ago. We're carrying that energy forward with us. And that, I think, is also when we throw away the lists of what we have to do and just start receiving energies that are being delivered to us, we start creating more opportunities for energies to be delivered to us.
It's so beautiful. We're at this point of completions and new beginnings.
Yes.
We have to learn to allow for the magic, because we can't understand a lot of the times how these connections are arranged or supported, but it seems coincidental or magical. And it's time for us to open up to more of that kind of connection rather than making it happen on all levels in our lives. It's more about letting go, being present, and being receptive to the little signals that we get from our intuition or through other people, and just to catch it when there's a subtle message there.
I love that you said intuition, Prageet, because this is one of those items on the shelf in the store that has appeared where we are now having enhanced intuition, something that we can plan on coming to us. We can have planned, expected intuition. And what is intuition? It's a connection to the field of potentials that exists for you. Your name goes here. It's not you tuning in necessarily to what's happening to the whole planet or what's happening to someone else. It's more personal than that. This is what's so great about having the enhanced intuition, because it's personal to you, saying, yes, I should go to this meeting. No, I think it's not my time right now to do this. I should just wait. Now is the time to go. This all is part of enhancing your life to have a greater delivery of intuitive information.
And we've been told in the past that intuition is just your mind making something up. So we really have to let go of that and just really trust and follow the intuition. And the more you trust it and follow it, the more real it becomes and the easier it becomes to follow it. Yay.
So speaking of allowing for the magic, is it time to move into channeling and meditation?
Yeah, I think it is. So
All right.
I invite everyone who is tuning in right now to have that complete surrender to the unexpected, to dismiss any ideas of what you think might be coming for you, to just relax, completely relax every part of your body. Allow yourself to be in a comfortable position so that you don't have to move. There's nothing for you to do other than be administered to right now, to hear soothing, loving messages that are coming forth from both Kryon and Alcazar. So allow yourself to really be receptive, not just to the information, but to open your heart energy so that the third language of love that comes bursting forth from Kryon and Alcazar flows directly into your heart, and you receive this on many levels. So thank you, Kryon. We are ready for your message.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. I have said this so many times, but you need to hear it again. I know who's watching. Whatever time frame you watch, I know who is here. And that is something that warms that which is the heart of spirit itself. Know you are here and you care enough to be here, to listen to something that is happening for you. Number one, it is not an accident that you are on this planet right now. Number two, it's not an accident that you are hearing spectacular things that are going on with the human being. The timing of now is perfect for your life. And it doesn't matter how young or how old you think you are. I and Spirit see you as one full, complete soul entity. And it's thousands of years old, this soul entity. And you are here right now as an expression of many parts, you might say, of the oneness of one soul. You might say, I know who you are. I know who you've been. I know the potential of who you will be after you think you've taken your last breath. I know that which you have planned for the next time around. There is something spectacular happening right now, and I want to give it to you briefly, succinctly, and simply. I want you to consider a metaphor I've given before, and that is a toy train around perhaps the Christmas tree. And it goes in circles. No matter how big the tree is, it goes in circles. There's no way it could do anything else. Now, that train is a metaphor. It represents the old energy of this planet That never changed. Now, what happens when this train, which is you, humanity, the planet, goes around the track, which is the timeline of you, is that it covers the same ground over and over, the same track over and over. You might say you are in a closed timeline. It never changes. Now, the proof of this is that your history repeats itself. Even the most dysfunctional things you have ever tried are then tried again. Expecting perhaps different results is the definition of dysfunction. But you look at your history, war after war after war, as though it would change something. There were some wars that were so disgusting, you took a break. And then you started another one, which was simply an extension of the last one, with the same players, the same protagonists in the play of war. You cannot help yourselves, because that is the track you've been on. History repeats itself. Not anymore. I want you to see that circle, that track, with an extension, a siding, as they call, where when you come around in this 36-year window called the precession of the equinoxes, that particular cycle does not circle anymore. It goes off onto the siding. You have created another timeline. Now, that new timeline will never come back to the circle around a tree. It's going somewhere else. It's going where you have never been. That's frightening to many, and many of you feel it. What's happening on this planet? I feel like things are changing, and that bothers me because I'm used to the same. I want to have it come back, you might say. No, you don't, dear ones. That's just you reacting to something you didn't expect, something new. The paradigm, the timeline we'll create are new. This is the new kinds of things we want to tell you about. And that's why we are here. And so I want you to understand that this siding that you've taken is going to become not another circle. No, you're not going to have another repeat of history. No, this is not your grandfather's world. No, it's going into a direction that is obfuscated, hidden, that for some of you, you might think is frightening. And that is another reason we're here. That's to tell you that this future of yours that you cannot see, that is different, can be so exciting, so much better than the circle you've been in. That's the message. That's the entire message. Relax in the love of spirit that gives you the confidence that where you're going on this siding is what you've designed. It's why you're here. And so it is.
Beloved ones, this is Alcazar. And this indeed is a beautiful metaphor. You are now moving into the unknown. Your train is on a track, but where is it going? It is you, beloved, with your intention, your allowing, your intuition, that is laying the very track ahead of your train. You, as you connect more and more to the support, the guidance, the inner knowing, it is you that is starting to create the energy within you that draws into your life the next step, and the next step, and the next step. These next steps might not be what you are imagining, because your imagining has been based in the old. More and more, you need to allow self to be present in the now, with projecting less and less of how you think your life is going to be. Because in this way, your intuition and the support from the universe through people and situations around you, as you trust and you receive this guidance internally and externally, you will start to move on this new track. It leads into the unknown. And as Kryon has said, it might feel at first a little scary. But the beautiful thing is, as you start to move along this new timeline, this new track, you start to feel different. You start to feel more confident. You do not necessarily know where you are going, but you are enjoying the journey. You are moving more and more into experiencing life in the moment without projecting into your future or dwelling on your past. You are moving more and more into experiencing the now. And as you start to feel the joy and the excitement of being, the energetic of self-love starts to grow. You start to love and appreciate yourself for allowing yourself to start moving on this higher timeline, starting to experience and feel that in some way, I'm not even sure how, but in some way, I feel like I'm being taken care of. And as you look in the world around you and you see everything collapsing, relax. Do not be drawn into it. The old has to break down. Already, unseen rebuilding is happening in your societies behind the scenes, while the old continues to break down. More and more chaos on the outside. Do not focus on the chaos, which your media loves to show you. Stay in the heart. Stay in the understanding that there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world, just like you, drawing in the higher consciousness. We are already moving together. Unseen perhaps right now, but as more and more of you connect to communities and communities start to connect together, you start to feel a oneness, a knowingness that is beyond the mind, that you simply know, yes, this is happening. I am part of it. I am the creator of my new reality, and I move forward with friends, seen and unseen, as we create a new reality together.
And so, beloved ones, there is a brilliance within you that is about to alight your awareness. And this brilliance shines its light, extends beyond your body, beyond your personal reality, into the greater reality. And so it is this brilliance that you are entangled with that reveals the true nature of your soul. Beloved ones, recognize that truly there is nothing to do. As Kryon is saying, as Alcazar is saying, you are on a trajectory that is fully new. And so all that is required is your own desire and your own willingness to open your eyes to the higher realities. And so let us begin this right now. And in fact, we are going to invite you to close your physical eyes, to relax, for understand what you are connecting to is beyond what you can see in this physicality. It is the true essence of reality beyond the veil that is becoming available to you more and more. So close the eyes, relax. We will turn our camera off for this experience. And so we invite you now to begin this meditation by connecting to the energy of the earth, the energy of Gaia. So simply asking inside throughout this meditation, we will invite you. And if you ask, the energetic response can happen for you. If you do not ask, we cannot respond. And so for those of you new to this experience, just asking silently within for the energy of the earth to come up into your body, into your energy field.
And so we are inviting the energy of the earth, the consciousness of the earth, Gaia, to come up into our bodies, into our energy field. And you might even sense a subtle energy as the earth responds. Do not be worried if you are not feeling the energy yet. It will get stronger throughout this meditation.
Very good. And now we invite each one of you to ask inside for an etheric stargate, the consciousness of the stargate to come and form around you.
And so we are inviting you just to ask and just to imagine or visualize a stargate forming around you, feeling it coming to you just because you asked. It's that simple, that easy, just asking and allowing.
And now asking inside for your etheric stargate to activate.
So we are calling for the activation or the giving the permission for this stargate to work with you personally. Just asking inside for your stargate to activate. And it will start to radiate a very, very soft, gentle energy to you. Very good. And so as you simply relax inside your stargate, we are going to start to vibrate all the stargates around the world. And as we vibrate them, we start to move the energy, the frequency up through the dimensional energetics. We are doing this now. And as we are vibrating your etheric stargate faster and faster, we are already moving into the frequency ranges of that which you would call the fifth dimension. And we continue to vibrate faster. And as we do so, we merge now into the frequencies of the sixth dimension. And as we continue to accelerate, we move into the seventh dimensional energetics. So you're vibrating your stargate now at the seventh dimension. And we pause here for a few moments.
And we ask each one of you here in the seventh dimensional frequencies to ask inside for a strong seventh dimensional energy field.
So we call for a strong seventh dimensional energy in our etheric stargates, in the consciousness of the stargate that is surrounding you. And as you relax into these energies, slowly, slowly relaxing a little deeper, a little more, these energies start to support you, and your own energy starts to harmonize, starts to vibrate in harmony with these seventh dimensional energies. It happens all by itself, nothing to do, just the relaxation, just the allowing. And these very energies vibrate you at a cellular level. Right now, every cell is receiving this very soft, very subtle energetic of support. Very good. Very good.
And so we continue, again, vibrating all the etheric stargates faster, raising the vibration, lifting up through your eighth dimensional frequencies now and into the ninth, continuing vibrating faster still, merging through your 10th dimension, vibrating quite rapidly now as we merge into your 11th and accelerating into the 12th dimensional frequencies, where we bring the stargates again to a gentle pause.
And so again, beloved ones, just asking inside for a strong 12th dimensional energy in your etheric stargate. Just asking, nothing to do, just being present, allowing the body to relax a little more effortlessly. And as before, just by relaxing into these energies, slowly, slowly, your own energy, your own vibration rises and starts vibrating also at this 12th dimensional energetics. Nothing to do, it happens by itself, just by relaxing, just by being present. Very good. And the beautiful thing is, as you start to harmonize with this 12th dimension, becoming one with it for a few moments, you become more sensitive to the many guides and benevolent beings who are available to assist us moving deeper into meditation and moving deeper into an understanding of who we truly are. And so we start by inviting each one of you to ask with us. And when you ask with a strong intention from your mind, but also a deep desire from your heart. Combining the energies of the heart and the mind expresses the strongest way to invite these guides. So let us start with this intention and inviting the presence and support of the angelic realm.
And so asking inside, we are calling for the presence of the angels.
And just feel, here they come. Just feeling the energy changing around you as the angels bring their loving presence. You can invite them to come closer, and just feel the angels responding just because you ask.
And so, beloved one, beyond the veil, all of your loved ones reside. We know these beings as your personal guides, and they are ones you have loved and lost. They are ones also who you have loved for eons, who have loved you, who in fact know their true nature as love itself. And so we are going to ask each one of you now just to invite with an openness the presence of your own personal guides.
And so just with again a strong invitation, just inviting those that you have loved and lost to bring their energies to you right now. For life continues beyond the body. And can you feel now? Can you feel loving energies coming to you right now? You do not even have to know from whom right now. Just feel the loving energy in response to your asking. Beautiful. And into this meditation, we are going to invite the one often called the Master of Love, Jesus or Sananda. And so again, let us all, with a strong invitation, call for the presence of Jesus, Yeshua, Sananda.
And so we call for the presence of Jesus, the Nazarene.
And feel, here he comes, feeling his presence, joining us in this meditation, getting stronger now as he comes closer, joining the angels and your loved ones from the past as they hold together a vibration of oneness. Very good. Very good.
And his beloved divine feminine counterpart, the one known as Mary Magdalene, wishing to join this meditation alongside the Master of Love.
And so asking inside for the presence of Mary Magdalene.
We call for the presence of the Magdalene.
And feel again divine feminine energy coming into this meditation. Come closer. Yes, come closer. Beautiful. Another wonderful divine feminine energy whom we call on frequently, for she carries the energy of compassion, which is sorely needed in these times. And so this is the beautiful Master Kuan Yin. So we again ask you with a strong invitation to ask inside for the presence of Kuan Yin.
We call for the presence of the Master of Compassion, Kuan Yin.
And feel as she brings her energy. Here she comes, Kuan Yin, bringing her presence into this global meditation, coming even closer. And you may notice as we invite these guides, you can feel their energy as they join us. And then after a moment, they merge with those who have come before, creating this field of oneness. We are all being held now in a beautiful field of oneness.
And one more group of masters, of guides from the beyond wishing to join you. For they have been mentioned this day. They are the ones known as the Pleiadian Star Mothers, who taught in times of old in a very high consciousness of Lemuria. And so we ask each one of you just to invite the Star Mothers.
And so we call for the presence and support of the Pleiadian Star Mothers. And already the energy is joining us. Open your hearts, open your being as the Star Mothers join us in this global meditation, bringing their enlightened energy to join with these masters, holding us in this field of oneness.
And so the Star Mothers were here at the inception, the starting point of human consciousness evolving in your times of Lemuria. And they are here again, still available as you rapidly transcend all you have known, moving into the very heart of your own inner existence, the journey into the soul. And so we invite this one, Kryon, into this meditation.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. I want to continue this beautiful visualization. Angelic visualization in this meditation in a way perhaps you did not expect. What would it be like to journey to your soul? What would you find there? This meditation helps you to perhaps unscramble the multi-dimensions you might see, the confusion you might have, and take it right into the dimension that you recognize. And here is the promise for all of you. That when you start these kinds of visualizations into your soul energy, Spirit is not in some vacuum in the other room. Spirit knows exactly what you're doing. And in the process, there is a dispensation, you might say, of energy that allows you to unscramble the confusion of the multidimensionality that is there in such a great way. It takes you into a place of understanding. Now, that's love. All of these things are new. There was no teaching of any system of spirituality that allowed you to walk into your soul, to talk to those who are there, perhaps. This is new. So in that, this dispensation that is created for you is one of love that says, we know you won't understand it, so we're going to make it simple and loving and beautiful and succinct and comfortable for you. So I want you to be comfortable. This is not a place where you meet many. Today, it's one. It's only an example of what you might be able to do. If you would relax and understand, as the veil thins, you have the ability to cross that bridge between the known and the unknown. And on that bridge, you might say, you can walk peacefully, purposefully, because you deserve it, into that which is an energy of your own soul. What would it be like? We have been doing this for so long now, for so many, but perhaps you've not seen it before or felt it before. I invite you to meet just one of the sacred entities that reside in your soul. Now, this may be confusing. Some will say, I have angels in my soul. The answer is yes. Then, of course, the three-dimensional human would say, and how many? And what are their names? And the answer is yes. That's part of the confusion. You are able to touch the face of the Creator when you are in your soul energy. But there is this tether that is between your three-dimensional divinity and your body and the soul energy that has always been there that might be confusing? How would you like to talk to an angel that is specifically designed for you? I want you to cross this bridge and come to this beautiful area or energy, whatever you think it is, the most beautiful thing you've ever seen or experienced. I want you to hear the music that's playing. It's there. You recognize it. It's like a victory song that says, I have arrived. And yet you did not have a transition. You have gone there on purpose, and you're going to come back on purpose because you can. And when you arrive in this beautiful energy and walk into that which is perhaps a doorway, there is a beautiful platform. You can see perhaps the elements of space in the universe all around you, but more than that, there seem to be many, many, many boxes, some circles, more than you can see. They're everywhere. And in the middle, there is this wonderful, beautiful, exotic-looking, lovely angel. This angel is green, and the angel smiling so greatly, holding out its hands. And you might think that this angel wants you to say something so spectacularly divine. It does not. It's going to talk to you in your language plainly. And the first thing it's going to say to you is, what took you so long to get here? You'll find the angelic ones in your soul are fun. Even the higher self is filled with humor and joy in the beauty of home that your soul represents. You are home. The green angel is there and speaks to you. What took you so long to talk to me? And you would say, well, this is the first time I've been here. And the angel says, are you aware how much you are loved? And you might say to the green angel, where am I exactly in this beautiful soul that I somehow recognize and I hear the music? Where am I specifically? And the angel will say, you have arrived at the room of the divine cellular structure of your human body. The divine cellular structure of your human body. And you might say, and what is it I can do here? And the angel will look at you and say, just about anything you want. And you might say, you representing all my cells? And the angel says, yes. I have always been at that point in that which is your 24th pair of chromosomes, angelic, waiting for you. And you might say, I have been with you a lot. I have been praying for help. I need help. I have pain. I might even have a disease. And the angel looks at you and says, you will have whatever you claim, dear ones. Dear one. And you realize immediately that you have just been given a lesson from the angel in your soul not to speak about what you think you have. And the angel takes over with full explanation. Dear one, yes, you need help with your cellular structure, and that's why I'm here. And you might say to the angel, I've been praying for a long time for help. Please help me. Please help me. Whatever is going on in my cellular structure, I need some help. The angel says, and that, dear one, is the issue. You have never given your divine angel any instructions. All you've done is plead for help. I want you to be silent for a moment and think about what has just occurred. The divine angel inside has just told you something you should know and never perhaps knew. The angel says to you, the next time you wish to pray, change the verbiage and instruct the divine in your cells to create the healing you deserve. Dear cells of my body, you might say, I am in charge of all of you. You are me, I am you. You will heal this body as appropriate for the time. And you will start now because I allow it. I give permission for it. What a difference between that and being on your knees pleading for help. This is the new human. I want you to get used to it. Oh, there are so many angelic ones I'd love to introduce you to within your own soul that can do so much. This is just one. Do you see how this might change your life, dear one? You may retreat back across the bridge and return to a place where you are now more aware in a higher dimensionality of your consciousness to claim your own divinity and work with your body in the divinity that you always have had to do it. Magnificent you are. Time to take control. And so it is.
And very slowly bring your awareness back into your body as we assimilate the experience we just had. And as you feel your awareness becoming more present within your 3D body, you may very slowly open your eyes, adjusting into the room and becoming present now with that deeper awareness that we've just experienced, so that you're carrying through that energy. It's something that's now deeply within your cells, those energies we experienced through the Stargate, and then those instructions and reminders from Kryon about what we can do in our soul energy. And I love, Lee, that was Kryon saying this is just one energy presented. There is so much available to us in the soul. As we said before we began, within the soul is everything. And so it's going to be very, very exciting to discover what other energies we will meet in this soul journey over the New Year intensive period.
Yeah, I think it's opening up a whole new understanding for people. So often we've heard you're far more than you know. And now it's about knowing there's far more that we are. And it's very exciting. And already things are beginning to reveal themselves to me. Little tastes of the beyond, and it's delightful. And we just want to really open up this space for everyone. Yay.
Yeah, so we're starting to get some comments in the chat. Henga saying, wow, so powerful. Thank you. Jane, that was incredible. Thank you so much. Joseph is saying, indescribably beautiful, rejoicing and celebration going on incessantly. So feel free to add your comments to the chat. We are going to invite you to join us for the full journey into the soul, which will be unfolding over the new year. And we're actually, the four of us will be here in person in Mount Shasta with a live in-person gathering. And there's still a few spots available if you want to join us in person in California. But we're also live streaming these experiences around the world. And this is something that Stargate and Kryon both do regularly. And these live stream experiences enable all of us around the world to come together to create a powerful energetic. And it's going to be super exciting because the first 3 days of this workshop are going to be leading up to the energy of the new year. So day 3 is going to be January 31st. And we'll be having a little party here to ring in the new year. So you're welcome to join us and blast into this energetic of the new over the new year.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you are looking for somewhere to be on New Year's Eve, we would love you to come and play with us in Mount Shasta. I mean, I don't think it's going to get any better than that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Someone's pointing out, I said January 31st. Of course, December 31st. Already there.
Already passed it.
Yeah.
Well, this was delightful.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to being able to give you both a real good hug when you get up here.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait to hug everyone in the room. And if you are connecting with us virtually, I want you to feel the virtual hugs and love from us, in whatever way you can join us. Really looking forward.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. It's really a great joy to be with you as always. And we look forward to the next time, which is coming very soon. And thank you all for everyone that's joined us on this live stream. And a special thank you for all our translators who are putting this out around the world. And the thousands of people that have joined us on this. Thank you. We love you and we hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.